Hi, I am Natalie, and here's the weather forecast for August 25th, 2014. Here are the pressure systems. High pressure systems are winds that spiral out of a high pressure center in a clockwise rotation. Low pressure systems are winds that spiral into a low pressure center in a counterclockwise rotation. There are 4 high pressure systems in the southwest by a stationary front, which leads to cloudy skies and little precipitation. There are 4 high-pressure systems on the eastern coast, which will bring dry, clear weather, but a cold front is moving towards the eastern coast, which could bring stormy weather and lots of precipitation. There is a high-pressure system in the south by no types of fronts, so the high-pressure system will bring dry, clear weather. For the low-pressure systems, there are 2 in the central and southwest by California. One of the low-pressure systems is by a stationary front, which will bring lots of clouds and stormy weather. And there is also a low-pressure system in the southwest near a stationary front bringing rainy and stormy weather. The isobars over here help us find the high and low-pressure systems in the area. If the isobars are very close together, there will be strong winds, and if the isobars are more widely spaced, there will be light winds. There are widely spaced isobars in the northwest, which will bring light winds. In the central of the U.S., the isobars are widely spaced, which brings light winds, and in the north, the isobars are more tightly spaced, which brings strong winds in that area. Fronts. There's a cold front in Canada moving towards the Midwest, turning into a stationary front, going through Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. This front will bring cloudy and stormy weather with lots of precipitation. There is also a cold front on the eastern coast starting in Florida and moving west, turning into a stationary front by Louisiana. This front will bring cold, stormy, and rainy weather. Temperature and precipitation. As you can see, there are lots of temperatures all over the U.S. The temperature in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there is a high of 77 and a low of 72. In Seattle, Washington, there is a high of 76 and a low of 60. In Miami, Florida, there is a high of 98 and a low of 78. And in Augusta, Maine, there is a high of 81 and a low of 62. The temperatures in the northern part of the United States are mostly warm, but the temperatures aren't as warm as in the south because they are farther away from the sun and the equator. However, the temperatures in the southern part of the U.S. are very warm because they are. Now for the precipitation. As you can see, there is lots of precipitation in the northern part of the U.S. The average amount of rain in the north is about 0.30 inches of rain. In the southern part of the U.S. by Florida and north of Florida, there is about 0.25 inches of rain. This weather is caused by a stationary front and a cold front moving towards those areas. Air masses. Air masses are huge bodies of air that have similar temperature, humidity, and air pressure at any given height. Air masses are usually classified by their temperature and humidity. There are 4 types of air masses. The 4 types are continental polar, continental tropical, maritime tropical, and maritime polar. Continental polar is cold and dry air that forms on land. Continental tropical is hot and dry air that forms on land. Maritime tropical is hot and moist air that forms over water in the Pacific Ocean. And maritime polar is cold, moist air that also forms over the water but in the Atlantic Ocean. When the temperature is high, the molecules are far apart and there is room for water vapor in the air. This weather tends to have air masses that are wetter with humidity. However, when the temperature is low, there is less humidity, which causes dry hands and chapped lips. On our map today, the temperature is high, so the molecules are far apart and there is room for water vapor in the air. The weather today is wet and has lots of humidity. This concludes my weather forecast for August 25th, 2014. Thank you.